Previously on Paranormal Horizons.
People were digging in a grave in Clendenin, and a figure came up from the grave, and that was supposed to be the first sighting of Mothman.
So the town is named after Colonel George Clendenin, and what battle did he fight in, Ron?
Apparently it's a battle Point Pleasant. Let's go see if we can find this grave.
Let's go look for it.
Yeah.
All we're doing is placing the data on the table. We're not trying to tell you what this is. We never have been.
I don't know what this is. Something shut the systems down.
Something just shut all the systems down. The one thing I'm very comfortable with saying, use any kind of electromagnetics you want, and you can mess with that, is that this is outside of the realm of coincidence now.
I went out to the field and I began to have a meditation that was CE5 based.
That was just recently, and that was our high.
You're out of battery.
That shouldn't be effective because it was off.
It was
Whatever
off.
happened. 1.6. What? Got a 1.61.
It's moving slowly.
So
UAP over the horizon. You're in the exact same location as all three have so far.
it's letting us get back in.
Okay. All right.
So now whatever's going on might be over.
What?
Let's just stop.
What?
Since we started this project, it became apparent that we needed more data. Looking for this data became somewhat of a quest. These leads led us to look further into some of the areas that John Keel and other researchers had investigated in the days, trying to understand this phenomena. Could these so-called window areas themselves hold the key to understanding high strangeness, or at least validating some of these phenomena as something measurable? Our quest to find the place where the Mothman may have first been sighted yielded some very interesting results.
So, for years,
Yeah.
it has been believed that the grave diggers
It's not here.
that were digging the grave and witnessed a flying humanoid was at Kuntz Cemetery.
It's not here.
We have wandered the cemetery now in 98-degree weather. While there is
There is a Smith.
a Homer Smith
That's right.
that is buried just beyond
Yeah. Just
that
right over
ridge there.
Yeah.
It's not the same guy.
It's not the same guy. It was 2 years before.
2 years before, and using findagrave.com, I located the actual Homer Smith just a moment ago.
Okay, so we're going to go there now.
We're on our way to pack everything up
Yeah.
and go to a completely different
Move over
cemetery.
there and see if we can find
Actual grave.
an actual grave and see what that's all about.
Let's do it.
In an age of AI assistance, it's really important that we get our history right. It's not going to be us who are actually answering these questions in the future. It's going to be intelligent machines and algorithms. And it's important that we give them the right information if we're going to preserve our histories. We had very little to go on to find this grave other than a very close-up image of a marker. It took quite some doing. It was pretty hot that day, but we did find it.
Hey, Ron, I got him.
Where?
He's right here.
Okay.
This is it.
Okay. Let's get it. Okay.
So we found it. We found the actual grave,
This
the
is
actual
the grave.
cemetery.
Yeah, this is it. So it's on the internet wrong.
Yeah.
But to their credit, there is actually a Kuntz sign down here. So someone may have drove by here and saw that as well. There's multiple mysteries here as to why those two graveyards were confused. But this is the grave. This is Homer Smith,
This is it.
1914 to 1966. So yeah, that's
So the tree line, there's a couple possible tree lines according to the story that this could have come from.
yeah.
You know, if you're digging a grave here,
Yeah. Was it this way or was it this
here,
way? You know?
and you have trees there,
Yeah. but you can see the tree line. I mean, it's really close by. So
Yeah.
what this tells me, flying squirrel,
No, not at this distance.
No way.
You know, in 1966, this cemetery was established before then,
yeah,
which means that all the trees other than the ones that we're seeing here currently had been cleared. There wouldn't be, you know, the fence has been sitting here for ages. It's rusted and
Yeah.
and covered in corrosion. So that doesn't happen overnight.
no.
So all of this had been cleared, and the house that's down here behind us, it looks to be older than the 60s as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this would have been cut away. So you're talking the tree line there
Or this one over
and
here.
these trees right here. A flying squirrel from this distance wouldn't startle anybody. It might if it hit you.
Oh yeah. Agreed. But yeah, I think we can rule that out.
Yeah.
Wow, that's just fantastic that we actually found it, and we found where it's actually at.
And we know the location. We can set the record straight.
And the record is now set straight. So this is pretty impressive.
Well, do you want to check some window area stuff? See if
Yeah,
there's any
let's
kind of
see.
residual.
Let's just look around. We're here. We got the stuff.
Might as well.
Let's just do it.
All right.
Just for the fun of it, we brought along the equipment because you never know.
never know.
because
There's-
residual.
Well, with this high strangeness stuff, you never,
You never know.
if you're dealing with an area that is kind of in a perpetual state of like
Something you can't
something
see.
going on,
Yeah.
or if it's random.
Right, exactly. Was it something that only happened in 66, you know,
Right.
67 frame, who knows? But I do know this. There's pretty much nothing here now. Everything looks pretty
Everything's
straight.
baseline.
Yeah, everything's pretty much
And there's
straight.
not been any changes in the radiation at all. It's
There's-
just normal baseline for this area.
No, it looks pretty normal, 27 up here. So yeah, nothing really spectacular stands out up here.
So while we came out here, there are some coons that are here in this cemetery. That may have led to some confusion at some point. But the fact that we were able to come out here and actually bring things back into, you know, I guess historical accuracy for the internet and for everybody who's actually a stickler to the historical fixture, you know, because the other cemetery, there was a Homer
Oh
Smith,
yeah, there absolutely was.
but there was a discrepancy with the burial date.
Timeline was wrong.
It was 2 years too early.
Yeah.
And that's what led us to dig in
A little deeper
little
there.
deeper.
On the spot. This
Yeah.
was completely unplanned, and find the actual cemetery.
And the fact that we were able to stay within the town,
Yeah.
you know, Clendenin was right.
Fact.
They said it happened in Clendenin,
That's a fact.
and we are still in Clendenin.
And we've got the tree line here, which is absolutely as it's been portrayed over the years.
And that was absent from the other cemetery.
Yeah,
Because the
it
other
was.
cemetery is much larger. This is a small
This is what I would
church
expect.
cemetery.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's really cool to be a part of this story
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a way that, you know, was constructive to the narrative of how these sightings took place. That there was a sighting in 66 by gravediggers,
That's right.
and then subsequent sightings of flying humanoids in Point Pleasant. It's really, really interesting.
And how far away is Point Pleasant from here?
50, 60 miles as a crow flies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not that far away. It's not that far off.
No,
You know.
not at all.
So yeah, there's-
Especially by flight, you know, when
Yeah.
you're in the air moving, it's no time.
and if Keel's talking about these window area kind of things, we don't know if something happened right here
Yeah.
over this place in 1966. Something could have happened
It could
up
have.
there that caused all of that. We don't know.
This has been an interesting little trip.
Yeah,
Unexpected
very unexpected.
and very cool to be able to be a part of this story.
Very productive day. So yeah, so what say we next head out to another one of these local legend areas. I want to go out to the Indrid Cold area,
Oh, okay.
the encounter area.
I like it.
So that's what I think we should do next.
Let's try to find
Let's
out.
see if these places line up in any way, if there's some kind of a match there.
Well, I've been looking, and Steve's helped me out as well. There's a third location that we might be able to get ourselves into.
Oh,
And it's one of the locations that John Keel was testing some of his theories at.
you found the hill.
I found the area.
You found the area where he conducted the flashlight experiment.
Right. I found the area. To be able to get to one of these window areas where John Keel conducted experiments, who was famously one of the author
Yeah,
of the Mothman prophecies.
Created all of this legend,
Documented
literally.
all the legend.
Yeah.
How cool would that be to be able to get out into the location where he conducted these experiments?
If we can do it, it'll be a first. It'll be amazing. So I'm looking forward to trying that.
I'm really excited. Fingers crossed we can get out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wow. Let's hit the road.
Yeah, let's get something to eat, something to drink.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this 100-degree weather already.
Yeah.
Our continuing trip to document the window areas led us to Mineral Wells, where, in my opinion, one of the most interesting UFO encounters in history occurred. Some would claim it to be a hoax, but others would come forward and validate what allegedly happened. On November 2nd, 1966, near the Mineral Wells exit, Woodrow Derenberger was returning home from Ohio when, according to him, at 7 p.m., his vehicle was overtaken by a strange craft that landed in front of him, where a strange man emerged and began to have a telepathic conversation with him. This man was Indrid Cold, and much has been speculated as to who or what he was. According to Woodrow Derenberger, he was about 5'10" or 11. He had a nice tan with slicked back dark hair and looked normal in every way. He was smiling with his arms crossed and tried to relieve Woodrow of his fear. He told Derenberger that they would see each other again soon, and this would set up an alleged lifelong contact with Indrid Cold, as well as a legend that managed to get linked to the Mothman due to its timing. It is here in this cemetery that the witness to what may be one of the best early contact cases in the U.S. is laid to rest. While in the area, we wanted to stop by and pay respect.
We've made the trek out here to Mineral Wells.
Yeah.
And, you know, we found the grave site of Woody Derenberger, and now there's only one other place left, I think, for us to at least try our best to come close to finding.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's head out that way and see what we're going to find.
Coincidentally or not, it began to rain while we were filming. So we packed up and decided to head out to the area and get as close as we could to where this legendary encounter first occurred.
Yeah.
I wanted to find this spot so we could use it for recreation for this series and to better understand what the conditions may have looked like back then.
Okay, there's no shoulder.
According to Woody, the craft stopped in front of him as he pulled over onto the right-hand shoulder to try to get around the descending craft. But the craft hovered in front of his vehicle and blocked both lanes. At that time, this was a two-lane road. Today, the interstate runs through here, and the area has very little room to pull over. But I think we got what we needed. So now, we were off to our next window area. Our next window area on the map was literally ground zero for high strangeness, and it would not disappoint. Once again, we were meeting up with Ronie Wheeler, who we had interviewed about his involvement in the historic original Mothman encounter, November 15th, 1966. At the end of our interview, Ronie looked at some of our data and expressed an interest in returning with us to the spot near where the original sighting occurred, and where he had looked for the creature for several years following that first night. He was meeting us at another historic location, the site where Tiny's Drive-In was originally located, and in the approximate spot where that November night, he says Roger Scarberry's 1957 Chevy pulled in, and the group described the first encounter with what we now know as the Mothman.
What's going on, man?
Not much. How you doing?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Hello, sir.
Good to see you. How you doing?
We're standing in a historical spot, right?
Yes. Yeah, very historical. This is where I was actually standing in front of my car, which was parked here. 66 Plymouth Satellite was right behind me, and I was standing here. The Tiny's restaurant, the actual building, went from just this side of that road over to probably where that door is, because it wasn't that big of a sit down. It was more of a drive-in area.
Right, it was mostly kitchen and
Mostly kitchen.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the drive-in area extended out this way so cars could pull in on either side. And we were here, it was myself, I was here in my car, and I think a good friend of mine, Greg Fowler's car, was parked over here, and I don't remember the other cars that were parked here.
Yeah.
But we were just standing out here like this, talking, and all of a sudden they came roaring up, Linda and Roger and Steve and Mary come roaring up from that direction. When they came in, pulled right up, right here in this spot. Jumped out of their car, and they were going, you guys will not believe it. And I looked at them and said, well, calm down. What exactly is going on? What happened? You're not going to believe. We just saw this thing. Don't know what it was, but we saw it up in the TNT area. And it chased us down the road, but then it stopped up here at C.C. Lewis Farm. And we came in here, and we don't know what this thing was. Had some big red eyes, and I said, really, where'd you see it at? Up in the TNT area. That's how excited they were. Up in the TNT area by the power plant. Up by the old power plant. And I said, oh, okay, guys, let's go. So we hopped in my car, hopped in the other car, told them, said, show us. We followed them up the road. They took us to the exact spot where they saw it. We all got out, looked around, spent some time trying to find something, went to the power plant, saw nothing that night, ended up coming home. Of course, I was working at that time. I had a job, so I was home weekends and away during the week. So left, come back the next weekend, and throughout the rest of that year, we went up to the TNT area and tried to find what is now called the Mothman. Did not see him at all that year or the next year. And then I got drafted in '67, went in the Army, and I wasn't back here again until I moved back in 2015.
Well, we'd had some talking last time when we interviewed you up there in the office, and
Right.
you know, we found out, just kind of stumbled into a conversation that you were interested in the phenomena and the research materials and the equipment being used to investigate elements of high strangeness and UAP and things of that nature.
Yes.
And
We actually analyzed one of our data sets.
right. You analyzed the microwave data set.
That signal was being transmitted from that direction. That all of a sudden is not going to turn and go here because it's coming from one direction. Microwave, you don't transmit it and then all of a sudden halfway through the transmission from tower A to tower B, you turn it and send it to tower C. Doesn't work that way.
We had talked that day, and we're gonna make it happen tonight, man. We've got good weather, clear skies.
Yep.
We have a good chance with no thermal ceiling tonight. Once the sky starts going, we should have a good reaction with the equipment. And I say you say it one more time, and we get going.
Let's get up the road.
Let's do it.
It was time to head back to where it all began, the area where the first official sighting originated nearly 6 decades ago. It's almost a mythical place now. The old North Power Plant no longer stands. It was torn down in the 90s due to safety concerns. No one then likely had any idea how important that old structure would become to a worldwide phenomenon. The Mason County Fairgrounds and motocross occupy the exact spot. We're going to be set up as close as possible to the foundation. So would such time and distance matter? Could this place still have some kind of energy left after all these years? We were about to find out, and in ways we could not imagine. First thing to do was to take our baseline readings.
We'll go ahead and check the gauss, milligauss in the area. We got at 0.0 out in the middle of the open field is exactly what I would expect to see here. So everything looks good right now.
I came out here when I was 14, 15, 16 years old, and you know, the building and everything was still here, but I didn't have any equipment like that.
While conducting their baseline radiation scan, Ronie and Joe got a very interesting interaction, it seemed.
So what we're doing is we're just walking around. We're getting a baseline reading for the area. So far, everything's been between 14 and 22 CPM, which should be normal for here. We've collected a lot of baseline data over on the other side of this property near the TNT igloos, and it's all been relatively in the same zone.
Mm-hmm.
So this is basically 31 CPM. We're going up higher. Hey, Ron, we're at 32. We started talking about it.
So that's very interesting, because when you start talking about the igloos, which are right out this way, it started going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this 14 to 22, 25 is pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
But when we start seeing that elevated reading, that's like Ron had mentioned to you earlier, we get kind of excited. That's an interesting data point. Now we're fluctuating back down.
Back down.
But we spiked up twice, and then now it's going back down. So this is one of those instances where, what you were asking earlier, when we're using some of this equipment, what are we doing? And some of the data points, as you can see, now you've seen it. When we talked about it,
it went up.
It went up.
Yeah.
There was a response almost, which is very strange.
Yeah.
So
but even at that, that's things like I wanted to see happen here.
Yeah.
So it's happening.
It's happening.
So, great.
Well, we're going to keep walking around here a little bit and see if, because this is where we should be right now. We're setting at 16 CPM. It's fluctuating a little bit. That's normal. That's where we should be. But that spike up to 32, that
was pretty good. That's double.
That's double.
Yeah.
Double background radiation.
It was double, and the rest of the background radiation was much lower.
We're at 8 CPM.
Wow.
This is one of the lowest readings.
That's low.
That's like nothing.
Yeah. So then what if we started talking about the Mothman, and this is the area where the Mothman was first sighted? Do you think maybe we could get a response from something like that?
It'd be interesting to see, because
It would be.
We have enough equipment that we'd be able to see some way, shape, or form if there was any kind of fluctuation in electromagnetic, in microwave, and then gamma radiation. We've got thermal radiation measures as well we can put in place. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what we can get. It's going to be interesting. This is already starting off to a half decent evening here.
Yes. Got me excited. That's point of excitement for a 76-year-old man.
All right, so what happened up there?
Okay, so what happened, we were walking out there and we stopped in one area and I started asking about things that would happen. And we started talking about, it mentioned the igloos is where they were at out there, and all of a sudden it went to 31.
Okay.
Went right up to 31.
Right there.
Then kind of bounced down, bounced up again a little bit. And then by the time he turned around, we started talking again. It come back down and
went all the way to 8.
went
really?
as low as 8.
Yeah.
Coming back
Well, that's what
across
happened
there.
to Wineberry.
It
Went all the way up and it dropped all the way to the bottom and went back up to baseline.
Yeah, it's completely normal now. So you had 30 up here.
Mm-hmm.
And it stayed there for a while.
It did. It went between 31 and 29, back and forth for a solid minute.
Yeah, and now as I'm standing here,
It's down into
back
the
to where it
teens.
should be. We should be in the 20s.
Yeah.
So did it go back to baseline?
Right now it's setting at baseline again. So it's pretty
Yeah, we're
interesting.
sitting at baseline. Right there it is, 17 CPM. I'm sitting at 17.9 right here. You had a 31 max. I verify we had a maximum CPM of 31 CPMs right here.
Yeah.
So the area did get a 31 CPM burst.
Yeah.
What caused that, I don't know. But we did get that. So
We did see it.
there it is. And that's on two Geiger counters. And we've got this one here, which is just going to show us the height. And I'd say this was probably when you guys hit that.
Yep.
That's what
There
it
it
looks
is.
like to me.
You see the spike and it
Yeah,
went
it was right
down
there.
and spiked back up.
Spiked back up.
Yeah.
And then came down and just kind of mellowed out.
Yeah. So
It's just like what we've seen here before, because we're not technically, as a crow flies, we're
we're
a
close.
mile
Yeah.
from where we did the workshop.
That's right.
In the spring of 2024, we conducted a paranormal and UFO workshop at the TNT area. Prior to this, we went into the area to get baseline readings. We got strange signals.
You shouldn't be getting,
Right.
you shouldn't be getting anything in there. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Why?
So exactly.
And during the event, we did have a radiation incident.
So we were out here doing an experiment, a thought experiment with Adam, and we were having him go into a deep meditative state and then focus on trying to influence the radiation level. And oddly enough, we started getting a spike in radiation, and it was consistent with the experiment because he was able to raise it to a certain level, and then Ada said, try it, push it harder. and it raised up another 2 clicks. So that is a very bizarre instance. I can't explain it any other way.
Exactly.
So I say we start firing up some of the other gear.
Yeah, let's fire up some gear. We're getting the sun on the horizon. Once we start getting into dusk, we'll get some thermals pointed at the sky. It looks like we've got a good chance of maybe seeing something.
That's what I'm thinking.
So we've got some gear here, and we'll start deploying it.
Okay.
After about an hour of taking baselines, we now had our levels in the area. It was time to deploy some more equipment to see if we could find anything.
All right, we're sitting over here. We got a 1.91, and we're still at that 1.35. Which
Okay,
is,
so nothing's changed on the SA?
Nope, not a peep.
Okay.
Is that thermal haze? Try to get above it.
Yeah.
As luck would have it, we wouldn't have to wait too long.
That is not a bird. Fire cameras.
Camera's fired. Check spectrum analyzer.
I didn't see anything.
Adam, try to tune in.
Yeah.
I've got a 1.91, 1.3,
Disappeared.
which the 1.3 is us.
Disappeared behind the trees. I got another one. Roughly same area.
Visibly nothing.
What?
Visibly
visible
with
nothing?
the naked eye, there's nothing.
Nothing there?
Okay, you are.
He's looking over here.
He is trained that way.
Okay.
This thing's barely moving.
I just saw it. If you go back to...
There it is. Got it.
You got it?
Yep.
On
I see
it.
Yep.
All right.
Right there.
We're going to record. That is static. It's not moving.
It's moving.
No, it's moving. It's moving.
It's moving.
It's just moving slow.
Yeah.
Satellite.
No.
This thing can't pierce the atmosphere. So it'd have to be orbiting within our atmosphere.
That is a target. That is a viable target.
We got a bogey, guys. Right there.
Viable target. Check the
He's going into...
We're at 0.4.
0.4.
Yeah, no crazy readings just yet.
All right, he's about disappeared behind the tree.
Even behind the tree.
Yep, he went into the dust and behind the tree.
Got him.
Invisible to the naked eye. Now here's an aircraft.
Right
So
there.
I'm gonna hit this aircraft for
Go
you.
ahead.
I'm gonna show you what an aircraft looks
Yeah.
like. See that?
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
That's an
you can
aircraft.
Tell that's an airplane. It's got wings.
You see
Bingo.
this?
Yeah.
We're still recording, right?
Yep.
You want to see this?
That's
There
an
you go.
aircraft.
Whoa. Come back.
That wasn't an aircraft
That
beside
wasn't an
that.
aircraft went behind it.
That's why we record things. It was likely an insect, but in this area, better safe than sorry.
Pause that recording. Okay, that one's in the cache. We got that one, buddy.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get that one. So we're dealing again. We have a invisible to the naked eye, only visible on thermal. We also paired it with a target aircraft, visibly an
I
aircraft,
can hear the plane now.
and you can hear it. You can hear the jets now.
Yeah.
But that thing was moving slower than that aircraft, and it was moving very, very slow horizontally across the horizon.
Very reminiscent of the one that we saw on the last investigation.
It was
When we came out of the woods.
eerily
Now,
reminiscent.
Now, whatever this was, it was almost an exact match for whatever we had seen up in Hedgesville just a few weeks prior. We have been recording these thermal signatures for a while, and no one knows what they are. It looked like this investigation was off to a good start, so now we wanted to drop our REM pod in that same area where Joe and Ronie had the strange radiation spike.
Oh, really? I see the red light on right now. Hey, Ron, we actually are getting some activity on the REM pod. It flashed green just a second ago, and currently it's glowing red.
The REM pod is a very tricky piece of equipment, and it can go off due to stray radio signals.
Could you train a thermal on me? We've got a green light peaking right now. Okay, so this is really leaning into the ideas now that what we're experiencing is trying to interact with us in some way or another. And I'm still just as uncomfortable about that as I am the whippoorwill that you guys noticed a few episodes back. But
All right, I've got full spectrum trained on you guys.
copy that. Do you see any activity at all, or is it just normal?
As of right now, I don't see any activity out there at all.
We're getting activity right now. Right now, I'm pointing at it. Ron, can you look just off the tip of my finger?
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Now, I'm too far away right now to set off this REM pod. The radius on this, we tested it when we set it up a little bit ago to make sure that there was nothing that we were doing that could interfere with it. Within like about a 6-foot radius. I'm currently, 20 feet from the device, and it's not responding when I'm using, because I'll set it off right now. We're gonna see. I'm gonna try to set it off just by turning it on. Check, check, check. Check, check.
Copy check.
Now, it would seem that we had just debunked this as a stray radio signal. But sometimes, just because it can be explained away, doesn't mean we have the answer.
Check, check, check. Checkity, check, check. I'm just testing the REM pod out. Nothing that time.
Okay, yeah, great idea. Did it have any effect on it whatsoever?
We thought it did, but now it's showing that it's not. We might have actually had some kind of strange hit that was actually an anomaly, but give me a minute, we're gonna play.
Copy that, go ahead.
I'm gonna go lay the walkie-talkie over on the hardtop, and I'm gonna leave it behind. That way there's no chance that this is what's actually setting off the device.
To ensure this, Joe is actually going to turn off the device. Now keep that in mind. He's turning off the device when he sets it down. Now, I didn't know that at the time.
Okay, so the walkie-talkie is now over there on the access road, and it's turned off. So there's no signal coming from it. This isn't really going to produce enough to do anything. This is our Geiger counter. So dosimeter, pocket dosimeter, and it's not going to set anything off. It's not sending off any kind of signals that would cause the REM pod to activate. So hypothetically, this shouldn't be set off by anything, but maybe if we start asking some questions, if we start poking a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything around them, behind them, in front of them, over top of them.
We might be able to get some data. So in the past, we've had experiences where when we talk about the phenomena, it responds. So we detected a UAP on thermal just in this area, literally flew over this area where we're at, didn't set any of our equipment off, except for we detected it on thermal. Is anything there listening right now? Mess with this device. Use any kind of electromagnetics you want, and you can mess with that. It'll set it off. Okay, we'll ask another question. I've asked this before. Is this phenomena sentient? Do you want us looking into this phenomena?
Yes, with the radiation.
I turned it off. I turned that off.
Look at one.
Now, as strange as it seems, we have had our equipment turn off and on by itself before.
That doesn't make any sense. I turned the walkie-talkie off, and now it's back on. Now we've had this happen before at Kanawha State Forest, and it actually fried one of our units. Both of these were charged together on the dock last night. Mine is dead. Hers is still full.
What is that?
Walkies.
Our comms.
Serious?
That was that one's dead.
Now they're both full charge again.
Algebra, we're back out of the woods. Right there, full charge.
It made it unusable. One of the batteries was just depleted, and we had to. I could charge it. It'd take almost 2 hours to charge, and then the one would turn on. And these were brand new. They'd only been used a handful of times, and one of them works fine, but the other one, when you turn it on, the battery would go from 100% battery life to nothing in 5 minutes. So, I mean, we're at 33 CPM right now. Hey, Ron. 33. 33. So he just yelled back that they were at 50.
That's local.
They were at 15, and we're at 33. So this is a local gamma radiation spike. So you can, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it with the glare. There's our CPM at 33. That was our high. That's that spike right there. And you can see how it's tracking. That was just recently, and that was our high.
They're out of battery. This just went from 50 to 0.
That's one of the new batteries.
Like I seen it go. Just.
All right, just shut down. Maybe it was a battery thing.
Maybe battery down. Wait now.
Wait a minute.
Maybe not.
Now, we had no idea what was going on out there, but at the exact same time, something shut our power down on the thermal monitor. It literally turned itself off.
Hey, Ron, fire up camera D.
I had it.
That's all it was to full battery.
Hey, something shut your signal down completely.
That's what happened to us just now. Killed everything.
Everything. Just shut down.
Killed everything.
Hold up.
That's why I said fire up that camera, because it was off. It
We
shouldn't.
just had the same thing happen.
Just went
right
off
here.
again.
Yeah, this shouldn't be okay. That
filming.
shouldn't be effective because it was off.
It was
Whatever
off.
happened.
This was off.
I was at 54 and it went to 0.
This is a brand new battery. That's our battery. That's one of the brand new ones, fully charged.
Well, when I turned this back on, it was almost fully charged.
It went off completely. When we got it back on, it's fully charged. We can see the battery bar right now. Something shut the systems down.
So, something just shut all the systems down, and
And something turned on the walkie.
yeah. I turned off the walkie-talkie,
And it
and
turned
then
on.
it came on. We heard it plinging, and Maria said she asked, she thought you heard you asking what the gate
Radiation.
Yeah,
I did.
so I turned it off, and something turned the walkie on, and we heard you coming across at that point, because I turned it off because I didn't want it setting off the REM pod.
The REM pod, yeah.
And it turned on when we got a
Did
signal.
that thing just shut down again?
Just as he was walking up there.
That's weird, because we haven't had any issues out of that all night.
We got a full charge.
Yeah.
And that is the on off. Right
What do we?
there.
Oh, what's that signal? It's a 1.38.
It's a 1.38.
That's our stuff.
It's our stuff. We have nothing weird that's coming across SA.
Okay. All right. Oh man. We had a 33. We got hit with a 33 spike out there right when all of that started happening. The battery went. This is a brand new battery, fully charged. We just literally put this battery in before we started in here, and it went from 54% to 0.
That fast.
She said she
I
watched
was
it go.
looking at the screen.
You watched it go down?
It didn't go down. It went 54-0 and the little yellow battery thing came on it.
So it went straight from 54 to 0.
Yeah.
No going down.
While we're in the middle of talking.
What were you
And
talking about?
the phenomena. we were asking a question. I said, is this phenomena sentient? Do you want us to continue doing what we're doing? And then all of a sudden, lights started going off. The comms came back on. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
The comms came back on at that same time. We heard you talking, and then all of a sudden, bam, 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 things started going down.
Yeah, I mean, we experienced the loss of the signal just pretty much immediately, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because when you were coming back, we were like, well, this shouldn't be happening.
That's still on.
And this is still on.
Yeah, it's not that.
Oh boy.
And we caught nothing in the skies. The skies have been clear.
Because I
Clear as we can
around
see
you all,
anyway.
I went this way, I went up, I went around the sky this way, came back down, went around this way, watched you, never saw a thing.
This is weird.
Here, Adam. Upgrade.
Like I said, go out there and talk.
He did say go out there and talk, and that is exactly where Joe was when he was out there conducting that experiment. One of the thermals was also pointed in that direction.
Yeah, I want to see if anything happens out there.
See if anything can take that radiation.
You said it was localized, and I showed the spike. When I was showing the spike was when the camera died.
Yeah, because that's why I was looking at it. I was trying to get it.
Yeah. Are you getting action on it?
What is this? Right here.
That's probably like the same as this, so it's black top or hot top.
Yeah, it could be hot.
It's getting warmer.
You guys keep talking. I'm gonna walk over there.
Okay. This thing's not coming back on.
Yep.
It didn't die.
Well, it had a full battery.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't used it other
Just a
than for
very
this.
little bit was used on it. Look.
Full battery.
Yeah, you saw it, right?
Yeah. And now it's getting ready to shut off again. Oh no, there it went.
There it is. There it is.
Okay.
So it's letting us get back in.
Okay.
All right.
So now whatever's going on might be over.
What?
This just
What?
What do you mean that just died?
It just shut off. I heard it.
I heard the click.
Wow.
Oh man.
It said half battery.
Huh?
Another one at half battery just died. What in the world is going on?
Once again, another piece of equipment had gone down due to a battery drain. More importantly, it seemed to occur at the same instance that Joe mentioned. Now, whatever this was, it might be over.
Okay.
All right.
So now whatever's going on might be over.
What?
This just
What? It knocked you completely off the system, whatever it was.
It might be tempting just to say that this is all coincidence, that this is just patterns that are being recognized. But when you're there, it feels a little different. So Joe was going to head back out into the field. Keep in mind, that's exactly what he was doing before the camera died this time too.
Yeah, we're going to go out and look and see if you
All right.
can tell what that is.
Tell me when I get there.
Okay. You got your walkie, right?
It's over here. I left it on the ground.
Huh? It's on.
Yeah, he left it laying on the ground over there.
Okay.
I had it.
Okay, so while we were showing you, hopefully we caught enough of it on the second camera, but while I was showing Maria the dosimeter readouts, we got a spike at 33. We had a signal hitting off on the REM pod. Something turned on a comm that was turned off, which we have had happen in the past before. We got an elevated spike at 33, which that seems to be a sweet spot, 33 CPM for whatever reason. Now we've got a hot spot on the ground out here that got hotter and hotter. So we're gonna go take a look, and I'm gonna pick up the dosimeter on the way to make sure I don't get turned into a French fry. Yeah, this thing's still on. All right, Ron, I picked up the comms. Tell me when I get there.
Copy, will do.
Didn't set the device off that time. We're closer now than I was.
A little bit left. Yeah. Yeah. Stop.
Right here. So I'm gonna put that down there.
Hey, we've got another issue of it on the handy cam for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Hey, can you repeat that?
Yeah, we had the handy cam shut down by itself again.
Okay, so we're having multiple equipment failure. Taboo paranormal stuff, I get it, but this is different. We're not, all this stuff fully charged literally this morning when I took it off and put it in the packs, and we're having multiple equipment failure. Something set off the REM pod again.
Walk toward Maria.
About 2 steps. Turn to your left. Turn to your left. Stop.
Go straight forward. Straight forward.
Go to your right.
You're on top of it. You confirm that?
It's blacktop. Okay, that makes more sense.
It's cold to the touch though.
I would say it's an ambient thing.
Basically. Technically it shouldn't be. If it was showing hot, this actually feels cold.
Oh.
It's showing hot.
Right there,
It is actually colder than the ground.
So why is the blacktop
Why is the blacktop still hot?
still hot when he says it's cold?
It's
to the
cold.
touch?
Yeah, he says cold to the touch, but that's hot in this right here.
And we can see it getting warmer
Yep.
on the.
We can
on
see it on-
thermal.
yeah.
I may have actually got that on camera, the transition, but it was recording on thermal. So
Yep.
I'm hoping. What is this? Adam, get over here.
Uh-oh. What have we got there?
1.6.
1.6.
I've got a 1.6 over here that just popped up.
Copy that. I'm going to go check radiation. It's a 1.
Hold up. Don't get excited. 1.597195. So technically a 1.6.
Yeah, but that's still a designated signal. All right, you got a negative 70 on that, or a negative 75. Holy cow, we went up to 35
PM out here on this device.
Wow. Okay, that is significant.
That is really significant.
And we've got base camp sitting here at 17.
Normal, so that's localized. Whatever you guys have got out there in that field is localized.
And you can see the spikes. There and there. It's those two right there. That's interesting.
Whoa, that's not a bird. Adam, it's on the readout there.
Mm-hmm.
You see it?
I see it.
Is that thing sitting still?
Hang on.
It's moving,
It's moving slowly.
It's moving slowly?
Yep.
So
UAP over the horizon. They're in the exact same location as all 3 have so far.
and this should be right here, and I'm not seeing anything with the naked eye.
At this point, I wanted to check our night vision to see if what I was seeing on thermal could be seen on it.
There's nothing up there. That is not visible.
Whatever it wasn't visible in third generation night vision.
I'm just kind of looking around
Hey,
over
yeah.
the trees.
Yeah, no, scope wrap.
Joe, that thing, all these things are happening in the same part of the sky.
It really did seem like the majority of our targets were all coming from the same area in the sky.
1.6.
What?
Got a 1.61.
161?
Yep.
Okay. I'm on the sky.
161 again.
I got
165.
I got something.
165.
I got something.
165.
He just disappeared.
165.
Bugged out.
It's setting. We've got one.
Disappeared over here.
I got over here to take a look.
This one disappeared.
We were getting a steady 1.65 signal coming across. I'm not. There's something wrong with the communication to the computer. I'm only seeing it on the SA.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I did see it over there.
Like, it's not reading anything
Dude,
on
there's
the computer.
something moving. I'm on it, but I don't know if
You're
I
on
can
it.
keep it.
You got it.
You got it. Where's this
It's right in here. You got it. It's faint, but it's there. It's moving across the horizon. You're losing it in that thermal. 1.6, 1.62, 1.63.
You got another one? It says paused right here.
It's pausing on the device.
Nope.
What?
This has never happened before.
This has never happened before. This is a next level kind of weird as far as the equipment's going.
And now, for some reason, the spectrum analyzer kept getting knocked offline.
Didn't connect. Didn't connect.
Restart, see what happens.
There we go. There we go. Now we're running again. I wonder what that was.
Well,
And once again, the tablet shut off.
Oh, it died.
well, that's what it did before, but then you saw the battery it still had.
Yeah.
Did it die?
Yeah, it's restarting again.
Once again, our equipment started malfunctioning. This has never happened at this rate before.
There's nothing going on here at all. This is completely dead. There's no signals whatsoever. Everything's
There's a
gone.
1.5, but it's at like
Yeah, it's minuscule.
nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing there. But right before everything dropped to zero, weird stuff started happening. The tablet started shutting down on its own.
It's now shut down 3 times on its own. It's got a about 90% battery.
Yeah.
We've had 2 cameras go from 50 to 0, both on brand new batteries. This shouldn't happen. Walkies that were turned off turned themselves back on, just like we had at Canoa State Forest last year.
We had a camera shut down multiple times. The handy cam shut down multiple times.
When I was showing Maria a spike that we had,
Yeah.
the camera went from 54% battery to 0 while we were talking about it.
We've seen multiple UAP in the exact same spot in the sky, almost like it's a replay of the same event. Caught it on thermal. It was there, had the psionics. It is not visible.
So it's not visible on...
This is not visible to the,
infrared.
no, or naked eye.
So
That's not
this
visible.
phenomena has only been visible
This is
on
thermal. I don't know what I think about this.
Well, if we start referencing back all these DIRD reports that just got dropped.
Yeah.
So to put a date stamp on this for everybody who's watching, because this is going to air way later.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It is currently August the 24th, right? Yeah, August 24th.
August 24th.
August 24th. On August the 19th, there was a 1,500-page DIRD report that was dropped
That's right.
with information and data corresponding to the UAP phenomena.
That's right.
Some of what we've had happening tonight was actually in those DIRD reports.
It seems you could draw that correlation if you. Yeah.
Well, it's particularly with this.
Now I've got to look at it because this has happened in multiple locations.
You keep doing that. What I'm going to do right now, while you are watching all this trying to figure out by myself, I'm going right out there.
In the middle?
Right out there,
We'll train everything on you.
and I just want to stand there and
Sure.
talk.
Yep.
See what happens.
Okay.
I do
Take
want
a
you to take this.
take a Geiger counter with you. If that thing goes above 33, get out.
Okay.
Come right straight back. And I've got something. Can somebody hit the
record.
There's a lot of bugs, but that's not a bug. Can you see it visibly? Wait, that thing just changed directions. Adam, can you see that? Verify that for me on the...
Yeah, it's moving. It's moving.
Did it just change directions? And now it's moving off to the side at incredible speed.
Yep. Sure
I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it.
We're
I'm on it.
It's recording.
Okay, I'm on it. I'm on it. Staying on this one. What is that? Look at that.
Yeah, wow.
It did a 90. Did you see that?
That sure did.
Bugs. Those are all bugs. That was not a bug. All right, save that file.
Okay.
Got that?
Yep.
Okay. Here. Adam, what do you feel about going out there?
You want me to go out there and meditate?
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing strange.
That's good.
And I just talked out there and said who I was. Because I was back here in 1966, what I was doing. and didn't see anything, and still would like to see it now. If it wants me to know that it's here, show me something.
Yeah.
And if you don't want me to know, then I guess you won't show me a thing.
There you go.
Happen.
With Ronie back, Adam was going to go out and conduct a CE5 type experiment. This has resulted in some very strange data points in the past. Adam was conducting his meditation experiment in the middle of the area where the strange radiation readings had been received earlier this evening. Some researchers are convinced that the UFO/UAP phenomena may respond to consciousness. In the same way that we use radio signals to communicate with one another, they surmise that whatever intelligence is behind the phenomena may be capable of somehow utilizing a psi or psychic factor to initiate communication. Many witnesses of UFOs, in particular orbs, have reported that they have simply thought or asked the anomaly to move or descend, and they have responded. This consciousness connection has been labeled a close encounter of the fifth kind, or CE5. It's a human-initiated contact and is the subject of much debate. In our past experiments, we have seen Adam enter into a hyper-relaxed state and have observed various phenomena while he was attempting to engage with it.
We got 29 right here. We got 30. We got 30.
That's coincided perfectly with Adam sending a signal. He did it again, and we hit 30, and you hit it at the exact same time.
In a case of absolute unreal synchronicity, right before finalizing this episode, News Nation broke the story about Jacob Barber, a UFO whistleblower who claims he was part of a program where he retrieved and transported UFOs. During this interview, he made another startling claim about a psionic connection to one of these craft and confirmed that psionic assets were used to interface with and control some of these phenomena. Our big question now is, are these the same egg-shaped craft that we have been capturing on thermal now for several years? And is this what Adam and others have been interfacing with?
Nothing
So
there.
what I'm watching right here, Ronie, is that number right there. That's the real feed number of
Nothing there.
the high signals that are coming in.
Okay. Yep.
So that's the hot signals. Now right now it's like, you're getting the 1.59, 1.55. There's 1.60 that just popped up.
Yeah. There's something.
There it is.
You got
It's
it.
a
You're on
bird.
it. You're on it.
That's not a bird.
No, there's two of them.
There.
That's not
Too
a
hot.
bird.
There's two.
Three.
Three.
Confirm.
There's three.
And they're moving weird.
Oh, yep.
Look at that.
Yep.
Are those birds?
Nope.
Are you sure?
They're not birds. They're not birds.
Okay.
1.6.
I lost them.
I see something now.
Fell backwards.
Yep, I see it.
There, right
Where?
there.
What? Where?
Visible.
Visible.
Hit
right
it.
up there. Red light. That could be a plane.
It's got a twinkle on
I
it.
see it.
Is that a planet?
That might be
it's
a
either
planet.
a planet or a plane. Couldn't be the International Space Station. No, it's not.
No, because it's not moving.
It's bright too.
But that's a good example. You can look up there and see that, and you're not going to see it on your thermal.
Yeah.
If it's a stationary light, it's almost always going to be something astronomical related. It's easy to verify this given today's apps.
What are you seeing now?
6'2".
6'2". All right, you call that? I'm gonna go look over here.
There's another one. There's another one.
Bird.
1.66, 6'4", 6'5", 6'4".
All right, I'm looking.
We're getting one, dude. We're all over the 1.6 spectrum right now.
All right, I'm looking.
We're dancing all over 1.6.
Well, right there, right there.
There we
You
go.
got one.
There's one.
You're hot.
There it goes.
Man, that's fast.
You're on it. We got it. We have this one on record.
Speed is insane, guys.
Hey, do you see that black rim around it?
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, I see the black rim.
You've got the black rim.
This thing just changed directions.
It's ice cold, basically, around that.
Trying to get it.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that. It's coming down.
What's this?
It hooked.
What's this?
Look
What's
over
this?
here. Look over here. See it?
Yep. That's bugs right there. But
That's
that one,
not a
That's
bug.
not a bug.
That's not a bug right there.
Yep. So when we go into post on this, you're gonna have to put a box around it.
Right there.
Yep.
So-
That's not a bug.
you can see it.
Oh,
Yep.
Here's another one going up away from it. Right there.
Okay. I'm watching it.
1.61, 1.62, 1.61.
It's still there.
We're bouncing, buddy. We have got a hot spot tonight.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
This is fantastic.
I'm glad I said this.
Right? I'm too. I'm glad you brought it up, man. This is fantastic. And have you noticed that right now all of our equipment is cooperating?
Yeah.
Yeah, every bit of it.
1.62, 1.60. We're getting a microwave at 3.
What?
Microwave
Solid
radiation
3?
at 3.
Microwave radiation at 3? Okay.
1.6.
Okay.
Dude, we are cooking with fire.
Yep.
I saw it.
It was there, but there was something there in the right
I'm going to
place.
try to go over here. Look around this area.
Oh boy.
Well, we got a lot of data.
Ronie, what did you get us into?
We got a lot of data, that's for sure.
I'm ready to dance a jig.
1.65 again.
165?
Yeah.
Well, let's see if it works, because what was happening there is there was one right above us whenever he called that out.
162.
All right, I'm looking. Not seeing, but I'm looking. See, I think that's a bird.
And I'm on a hot one.
You got one? Where's that?
It is, to you, be about 7 o'clock, and I'm recording.
Okay. I got wide open sky.
This one also has the black aura.
Where is it at? Oh, was that it?
Wow, that is intense.
It might have been it.
We got a Tic Tac, buddy.
Couldn't tell.
Ron, we got a Tic Tac.
I got it. You got two. You got one directly above us, right now.
Dude, this thing's moving. It's hauling. Dude, this thing's hauling ass.
We got that thing recording, right, Ronie?
Dude, I'm like, oh, I've lost it.
This thing, whoa!
There's another one.
It's moving.
Oh,
It's changing
I
directions.
got another one.
That's bug there.
Holy crap. Oh my God.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that
It's going
speed.
down.
Dude, dude, that thing broke the horizon. Did you see that? Boom.
Gone.
Going behind the trees.
Gone.
Wow.
Wow. Save that one.
There, what looked like you.
Let's save that one.
Okay, what's that?
Let's
right
start up
Oh,
another one.
man.
Let's find out.
Welcome to the land of UFOs, Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Now, the weird part about this is we had seen a few of these before Adam went out there and did his CE5, but after, they were everywhere.
I can't even keep up with this
And
thing.
now it went out of sight.
Yeah, I can't keep up with them.
Holy smokes. Dude, this is going on everywhere. This is popping off like crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Go look at your SA and monitor the frequency. Just see what we're getting.
Sure.
1415.
Yep. Whoop. 1.4. 1.5.
You just had one come across.
Come across.
And the other one shot across that way. That probably was the bug right there.
1.6.
1.6.
This activity continued for roughly 20 minutes or so, the duration that Adam was out in the field.
Adam, we've experienced some amazing things out here tonight. Why don't you tell us very briefly what you did out there?
I went out to the field. I laid down in the grass and I began to have a meditation that was CE5 based. I was putting out what our location was and what was happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say, Adam. I mean, we've seen enough at this point. You've done this now multiple times. So, and the fact that you can go into a meditation with a motocross happening in the background, that says something right there. Okay, so let's think about what just happened.
That's like saying just go ahead and let your brains ooch out your ears.
Yeah, that's a lot to take in.
Okay.
It's a lot to take in. Because
Is this what you were expecting?
Well, it's what I hoped for, but it wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
It was a lot more than what I was expecting. I thought maybe we might see one or two. I'm hoping, but that was phenomenal. That's just.
So what happens is we go out there, and we're getting some decent little hits here and there, and Adam decides he's going to go out and do one of these CE5 things that he's known for.
Because we were having like historic level of equipment failure errors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like nothing we've ever experienced.
No, we've never experienced that. I've heard stories of it from other people. This is the first time I've ever had that happen in the field.
Aside from battery issues, just a few random battery issues, but not across the board, across multiple hardware.
Yeah.
At the same time.
At the same time, because tablets shut down.
Yeah.
Camera shut down.
Walkies went off.
Walkies went off. Yeah, it was all.
We had communication failures between multiple equipment that were paired.
Yeah. This was interesting. But when Adam goes out, lays down, about 5 minutes after he's into his meditation, the sky lights up with thermal targets.
Yes.
And we got so many that I mean, it's going to take forever to look at the data.
It is. We had 2 thermals out here trained on the sky. We've got video of multiple subjects from 2 different angles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've got videos of 2 subjects separately at the same time. It's very, very strange. Some of these subjects had that black aura around them, that black ring.
What really kind of got me was that I told you guys I was going to go out there myself.
Yeah.
And I went out there and I just had a conversation with whatever was there, letting them know who I was, how long ago I was here, what I was looking for. If you want me to see you, show something. If you don't want me, that's fine. I'll leave. And I did that for what, maybe 10 minutes?
About 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. And I left and came back and nothing ever happened out there. And we're watching and we're trying to see things. And Adam says, well, let me go out there. And he goes out there and lays down and starts meditating. And it's just wild. Yeah. I don't know how else I can say it. It was wild.
So technically we had 2 people that went out and tried to initiate contact. And we got results based off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Abundant results at that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we've got multiple targets. We've got multiple data sets. This is literally going to take forever.
It's going to take a lot to go over.
We've got a lot to comb through.
There's a lot to go over on this one.
Yes.
So what say we pack up everything, get out of here.
But before we could pack up, the phenomena seemed to have other plans for us.
Get on trying to figure out what in the world we just... Did you see that?
No.
Nope.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Did you see it?
But I did not see it. That was a nice flash.
Yeah, it was a nice flash. Really? It was a bright white flash right there, right below the
dipper.
The dipper. Yeah. Bright white.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those nights. You can't really verbalize. It's just, it was wild. It's wild.
I don't understand it. I'll be 100% honest with you. I've seen stuff, but for it to be compiled into just like all the stuff, like I said, we have got there.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
Did you see it?
Yep. Saw it.
It was red. It was a red orb.
I just saw a flash.
Did you see it blink? Because it blinked 3 times.
Flash when you said right there.
Yeah, I saw the flash.
1, 2, 3. Kind of red-orange, right?
Yep.
At Wineberry this year, we used a green laser to attempt an ITC session. The results seemed pretty consistent. This is a form of ITC, or instrumental transcommunication, that I started using after we had the results up at Wineberry that first time. Something seemed to be communicating with us and using our spectrum analyzer in that particular frequency as a response.
1, 2, 3. 1.6.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yep.
1.64. All right, we'll do it again. Same direction. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
didn't see it that time.
Nope.
Oh, there it was.
There it was.
1.64.
It just popped up.
1.64.
Yeah. Well.
I did it 3 times.
So could something be answering?
Wow.
So that's.
And we don't have a flashlight.
Yeah.
I got a flashlight.
What? How bright is your flashlight? Oh, this might get real interesting real quick. That'll
do.
That'll do.
How's that?
Oh yeah, that'll do. That'll
What do you
do.
need to do?
All right. Aim it out in that direction. Blink it.
Like 3 times.
There it came back. I just saw it come back. Did you see it, Ron?
No, I didn't see it that time.
It keeps shutting off.
What?
There we go. I got it blinking. Now I shut it off. Okay.
It didn't take too long at all.
I saw something right here.
Yep.
That's where it's been.
Yep.
It's been right here.
I was waiting for you.
Yep, it
I was waiting
flashed
for
it
one of
all
you
the way.
guys.
That's where it's been.
I didn't want to instigate that one.
Yep. It was right.
Right in there.
Yep. Yep. There we go again.
It seemed it wanted to be seen but not
All
recorded.
right, nobody trained anything on the skies. No thermals, no cameras on the skies. Just on us. So we'll stand here with everything turned off and just observe for like 5 minutes.
We had another CPM of 35 over here.
Well, we'll keep that one on.
After 5 minutes of power down, except for the cameras on us, nothing happened. So Joe got an idea. Let's try to use some light
You're
that
off.
can't be seen.
Okay. Yeah, give it a shot.
I just saw something right there in that same area, and
It's always in the same area.
I kind of came and then went.
What?
Kind of pinkish color to me when I saw it.
All right, Ronnie. This has been pretty amazing. We have a lot to go over at this point. From now we've seen visible, we've seen thermals, we've seen strange equipment failures, we've seen everything at this point. And yeah, I think that it's time to wrap up and head out of here.
We've got a lot to go over.
We've got a lot.
Yeah, you
to
got a
go
lot of
over.
data. Yes.
And you know, back in the day when we were singing those songs, "Off We Go into the Wild Blue Yonder,"
Yes.
this isn't quite what we thought, huh?
No, this is not what we thought at all.
Wow, but it's exciting, huh?
Yes, very.
Well, we're back
Yeah.
in the office again after what it seems like forever,
Yeah.
because we spent so much time in the field.
There's a lot of data.
There was a lot and a lot of mileage.
So
Where'd that mileage take us, Ron?
we set out to originally go and look at these window areas and test that theory. Was there something to that?
Yeah.
So we thought, let's go out to where the grave diggers originally had their encounter.
Right. Yeah, the very first 66 Mothman sighting.
Right, exactly. So the grave diggers. So we set out to do that, and we thought, okay, so we looked on Google. Google says, go here. We went there. No grave.
No grave.
Completely different grave. It was a complete little mini mystery that happens in the middle of this whole thing. We didn't plan this, and that day we found where it was at. So that's in there. And then it was really cool to go over to, the area where the exit near Mineral Wells.
Oh yeah, that's such a sketchy pull off. Back in the day, it would have had a shoulder because you're talking, lanes going both directions at that point for the old interstate.
So that led us right back to the mother of all window areas.
Yes.
Right into middle of Point Pleasant.
Yes.
And the synchronicities that led up to that.
The original Mothman hunter, so to speak.
Yeah, right. So it was so cool just to have that encounter with him. But we were just doing an interview with him.
Yeah.
He was with the witnesses. They were friends with the witnesses. And, and I'm like, that's awesome. And then at the end of the show, he's like, oh, I'm kind of interested in that stuff.
And we got started to talking.
And he wanted to come out, and so be it. He knew exactly where it was, and we got as close as we could. So we went out there, and I'm thinking this will be just really cool, okay?
Yeah, it was going to be fun. You're out there with one of the original people involved in the lore of the Mothman.
Yeah.
And you're actually in the field conducting research with that person. it's the very first time anyone has ever worked with Ronie.
What was crazy about this is I figured, we'll go out, we might see a couple of UAP, because come on, we've shown them at this point.
We've catched them all
thermal
over the
hits,
place.
it's a thing now. I'm like, if he sees that, he'll be happy. That was literally all I thought would happen. I was wrong, however. The first thing that happens when you guys go out there in the field, we're getting our baselines, right? And you guys go out and you take Ronie and you have the GQ out there, right? The Geiger counter. So you guys go out and it spikes a little bit, right?
Yeah, we spiked up to double the background radiation. And in this situation, this seemed to be a fairly large target because you also received a spike on the dosimeter that you had at the back of the truck.
I'm sitting at 17.9 right here. You had a 31 max. I verify we had a maximum CPM of 31 CPMs right here.
Yeah.
So the area did get a 31 CPM burst.
So that was interesting because at this point, that kind of set up a domino effect.
It did, and it set up. We decided to go grab some other instrumentation at that point because we'd gathered enough baseline data. We did know we had a strange anomalous zone, but it wasn't consistent. It was coming and going, coming and going.
And so what we did is you set up a REM pod out there.
We've got a green light peaking right now.
It's interesting to me because as soon as you say that, the green light turned off.
Yeah, the green light went off, which to explain how those lights work for everybody so that way they know, because there's a series of lights on this device and they go on a scale.
Well, you've got the 4 collars basically, right? So you got the green, which is the lowest, and then you're going up. But the key is you go up to the purple. Now purple is the highest of the high. We've seen the REM pods go off because of RF radiation. Cell phones can turn them off.
Sure.
Two-way radios can turn them off, which is what we thought was happening here.
But if you set this thing up properly,
it's baseline,
and you deploy it, you can actually, you almost set it's zero.
You do.
You expose it to what the current level of high that you're using, and then it sets a benchmark at that.
It does. And then it makes its own electromagnetic field around it, and anything that interacts with that field sets it off, depending on how close it is to this object. And in this case, it kind of got interesting.
Okay, so we're getting activity right now. Right now, I'm pointing at it. Ron, can you look just off the tip of my finger?
So we saw it, and we thought, well, that's going to be just the transmitter, the radios, and we test that.
Effect on it whatsoever?
We thought it did, but now it's showing that it's not. We might have actually had some kind of strange hit that was actually an anomaly, but give me a minute, we're gonna play. And as soon as I said we were gonna play, a green light shows up.
So again, what you do next, I'm still trying to work this out in my head because of what happened next. This shouldn't have happened.
I'm gonna go lay the walkie-talkie over on the hardtop, and I'm gonna leave it behind. That way there's no chance that this is what's actually setting off the device.
To ensure this, Joe is actually going to turn off the device. Now, keep that in mind. He's turning off the device when he sets it down.
The walkie-talkie is now over there on the access road, and it's turned off, so there's no signal coming from it. So, hypothetically, this shouldn't be set off by anything, but maybe if we start asking some questions. Is anything there listening right now? Mess with this device. Use any kind of electromagnetics you want, and you can mess with that. It'll set it off. Okay, we'll ask another question. Is this phenomena sentient? Do you want us looking into this phenomena? It was really, really strange because the device was turned off and the device was laid down on the ground. And I wanted to make sure that there was no way that a stray signal could be picked up. And then we got a reaction on the REM pod, and the device turned itself on.
At the same time that you say this, but there's more, as they would say. And that's when the batteries on the actual camera die.
Visibly. Maria watches the battery go from 50 to zero. Because the reason she was able to watch it and was actually paying attention to that was because I looked down and I was like, oh, we had a radiation spike. And I'm telling her about this, and I turned the GQ500 around, and she was trying to get rid of the glare off the screen. And so she was looking at the monitor and then watched it go from 50% to zero and then cut out.
Almost at the exact same time. By syncing that up with what you guys had in hand, I can tell you that happened within seconds. Back at here at base, where we had all the equipment set up, the tablet dies that he's holding there watching with thermal.
But the battery isn't what died.
No.
It just disconnected and it turns itself off.
All right, just shut down. Maybe it was a battery thing. Maybe battery down.
This whole series of events, to me, is one of the most bizarre encounters that we've ever had in the field. Multiple equipment failures across the board.
All throughout the night. And then, of course, we hand the camera over to Adam, and Adam's filming, and there's a part where you address, well, maybe this is over.
Okay, all right.
So now whatever's going on might be over.
What?
Let's just
What?
What do you mean that just died?
just shut off.
And as soon as you say that, the camera that he's holding dies.
Yeah, and these were all fresh batteries. This has happened now in how many other locations? How many other researchers have experienced this? How many times have you heard this on podcasts, heard this on TV shows? And a lot of times it just gets dismissed.
Yeah, and it's generally the paranormal folks, right? The ghost hunters, so to speak, that experience this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's the weird part about this. This was definitely a high strangeness phenomenon.
It was, yeah.
Because you said, use any kind of energy source, etc. Right as you said that, it cannot be denied. It's right there. That's the data. Complete coincidence. I don't believe it's coincidence at this point. There's just too many weird things.
Yeah, the dice roll's too high there.
I'm going to Vegas, or I'm going to go buy some scratch offs.
We're putting some money on it.
Yeah, because this is just
the odds.
Yeah, the
odds are insane.
Yeah, they really are. And could it happen? Yeah, it could.
Yeah,
we got to put it on there.
Really,
but look, we've got to put it way down here at this point, based upon all the other cumulative data that takes place. So it gets a little darker, and so we get to finally get out there and start doing some stuff.
Uh-oh, what we got there? 1.6? 1.6. I've got a 1.6 over here that just popped up.
You got a negative 70 on that, or a negative 70 stop. Holy cow, we went up to 35
ppm out here on this device.
Wow. Okay, that is significant.
That is really significant. Localized. Whatever you guys got out there in that field is localized.
That's interesting. Well, right there, they got to witness part of the protocols that we've put in place around these strange signals, because it's, it can be in the 1.6, it can be 1.3, it can be 1.5. When we get a signal that is as strong as what that one was, even though it was in the 1.5 range, it's still being, we're directly in line of that signal broadcast, because it came in at a very, very high decibel rate.
So this is when you guys are discussing in real time now what happened out there. There was something happened out here, right? I'm like, is there anything out there? Is there any kind of residual left over that the thermal might be able to pick up?
Right.
So we have this spot back here. Mm-hmm. Now that spot got hotter, it seemed, as we were watching it. All right, so you're going out there to check out where this heat anomaly is, right?
Right, and I had a decent idea where it was, especially once we got out there.
Yeah.
Once we got onto the area, there's some spots that had exposed blacktop,
concrete,
which we come up on, and that's what this little patch was. But it was cold to the touch. It was colder than the ground around it.
Which made no sense.
No, the ground around it should have been brighter than what that stone was. Hey, can you repeat that?
Yeah, we had the handy cam shut down by itself again.
Okay, so we're having multiple equipment failure. It seemed like the more we interacted with it or acknowledged it, the more it would interact this whole night.
So right after this incident with, the REM pod and then our power failure, you got another radiation spike, and we saw a very good, another UAP going thermal. Now, whatever this was, it was almost an exact match for whatever we had seen up in Hedgesville just a few weeks prior. We have been recording these thermal signatures for a while, and no one knows what they are. Now, the comparison on these is absolutely unbelievable.
It's consistent.
It is very consistent. We see this same shape over and over. You can see this. This is a year apart in completely different areas. This is in Ohio, okay? Yeah. This was down when we did the thing with Glenn the first year. That was from 2023. This is 2022. Over here, this is from Wild Weird Con. So Logan, West Virginia, Ohio. Yeah. We've got them from South Carolina. We've got them from, Arkansas. They're everywhere. And what's interesting as we've been looking at these things is we can see several features that show up in these.
Yeah.
They're not exactly a round sphere.
No, they're oblong.
They are. This is, that tic-tac term, Yeah. It's kind of like that. And I see where they get that, because it's not exactly round.
No, it's
not round.
It has at times they look round, at times they're kind of egg-shaped, at other times they have this like a tic-tac shape, which is where the name came from.
It's elongated.
That is elongated, rounded edges, and it moves at absolutely ridiculous speeds.
So we got a good target here, good data. It looks like a star.
You got it?
It's not a star.
All right, we're going to record.
Now this thing showed off really well for us, and it's like it gave us what we needed.
It's moving.
Notice that pulsing.
Yeah. No.
This thing can't pierce the atmosphere, so it'd have to be orbiting within our atmosphere.
That is a target. That is a viable target.
We got a bogey, guys. Right there.
Right here, I want you to look very close to the screen. Do you see what I see?
Yes. Now what's interesting about that, it almost looks like a dark wake, right?
Yeah.
These types of thermal images I've seen on other military imaging that have been, I guess, researched. Some of this footage that's been submitted has these almost spinning and wake-like instances of dark cold, because this is in a white hot, so it's cold air around it, and it's been theorized that this might be some kind of an exhaust from their propulsion system, or it might be the way the propulsion system is working. We're just seeing the effects of it. It somehow is cooling drastically the air around it, and we're seeing this wake as it's coming in contact with warm surrounding air.
Yeah, so there it is. I don't know what it is, but you can definitely see what looks like a wake on this thing. I don't understand it.
And again, I'm not trying to say that is the propulsion.
No.
But it has been theorized by people with degrees, with tons of letters behind their names, thinking that this could be some kind of a byproduct of
It's something. Let's just say that.
It is. It's something.
That's not our equipment malfunctioning, okay?
No.
It's not an equipment malfunction.
And that has been confirmed with the vendors.
Right, exactly.
This is not malfunction. This is operating as designed, that is some kind of a differential.
Something's happening out there thermally in that area. And as far as it goes, there are some points where I have stabilized these so we can see them a little better. especially when we go into Zoom. But again, you can see this. It's not exactly a sphere.
No.
It is definitely more elongated at this point, and we can see that. So all of this is happening when we're receiving these 1.6 signals.
Yeah.
It is undeniable at this point that that happened. It was captured. It's been captured multiple times now. To me, that's a data set.
Well, what makes it more valuable in my mind is that we're capturing it. We're capturing an object in thermal.
Yeah.
We're getting the signal. And then we have other equipment that's also taking measurements. So we're having multiple devices gathering data that correspond with the 1.6. It's not just that we're getting the 1.6. We're getting 1.6 signals anywhere on that spectrum. It might be associated with the presence of these targets.
We can't say that. We can't say that the targets are causing this, okay? Let's just make that clear, because that's what a lot of people say, and that's where they, the data shows there. Could that be a possibility? Yes. Is that 100% confirmed? No. We cannot say that there is a absolute correlation between these events at this point. Not yet.
No, but the closest that we can get is that in this particular setting, that they do happen at the same times.
The other data set at this point. Okay, so what we did while we were out there is we've done this several times now. We've taken Adam out in the field, and he's gone out and he's done his contact thing, right?
Right.
So let's test it again. And we did.
Right.
Took him out. He goes out in the field, and while he's out there, we got a lot of hits.
We did.
We got a lot of hits. We got the 1.6 is coming in. We got these thermal targets overhead. Since this has happened, there's been a lot that's happened in the news.
Right, because to place this in perspective, we've been really busy in the field doing some stuff, and then just with the year moving around as it has. We were out at the end of August with Ronie. Current day right now is February the 2nd. Last week and the week before has been a absolute rush of whistleblower testimonies, and we have seen a lot of new terminology coming around.
One of those terminologies is this psionics assets. Just like UFOs turned in, UAPs and so forth and so on. Now we have sonic assets. What that really means is psychic assets. Let's call it for what it is. And a lot of people are having a hard time with this.
It is very real and very studied. There are institutes to this day dedicated to this very thing.
That's right. And anyone who listens to some of our past stuff knows good and well that I actually started doing those kind of things back in the day before it was popular and before I even knew what they were.
Well, this was your very first soiree into research. Before you were doing ghost work, before you were doing UFO research.
I wasn't interested in UFOs.
You were studying psychic phenomena and out-of-body research.
Right, and that led me into UFOs. There's a lot of research that went into this that says this is real. So when we put Adam out in the field, and we verified now that he goes into those trance-like states, and there's nothing mystical about that, by the way. It's your brainwave. He is able to condition himself to the point where he can go into a very relaxed state almost at the drop of a hat. So the theory is that there's a way to connect with this stuff in some way, which is interesting to me because now we have to look back at what we've done with this project and with our past projects before this, where we've been in the field and it seemed like a coincidence. Again, it's a data set. I can't say there's a correlation, but man, how many do we need at this point?
How many observables does it take?
No, it's true. It's absolutely true. Call it for what we will, but we did see activity when we had Adam out in the field.
We did.
A lot more activity than we did before he went out into the field. Okay. Sure. And at the end of the night, when we were wrapping up everything,
Ronie got exactly what he asked for.
He really did. It seemed like when you were out there and you asked to see this, you saw it in some way. You started it because you said, use any energy you want, blah, blah, blah. You're asking this thing a question. You're saying, hey, use any energy you want. Okay, I will. The camera goes off. The radiation goes up. But here's something that you didn't know at the time, and we didn't have any clue about. I was doing the editing of this later on because I edit these. That's what I do.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I put this together, and as I'm scrubbing through one of the thermals, I noticed something that just seems off. So what we're seeing here is what I saw when I scrubbed through. So this is played at high speed, all right? But what we're seeing at high speed is we're seeing the ground itself. Now this is steady. You see there's nothing going on out there. See that? But right after you guys had that radiation spike and you come back to us.
The localized radiation spike.
Right, the localized radiation spike. Watch what happens when you come across the field. Now I'm reversing it and backing it up because I'm trying to see. That's you guys causing that little bit of a white back there that you see.
Yeah, it's the
That's
reflection.
not. That's not.
Right. What you were seeing in the foreground and what you're seeing moving around on the ground, because Ron, you had sent me this video and you asked me my opinion first, and I said, well, that's kind of weird. Let me see what some people think about it.
Right.
So I sent it off to some experts.
Real
in thermal
experts.
real experts in thermal
Yes.
technologies. Had them view this and give me an opinion. They gave me their opinion, and they said that we needed to check with the vendors. In turn, I handed it over to the manufacturers. Manufacturers viewed this and they said, no, this is not a malfunction of the equipment. This was an observed instance of something generating heat.
So what we have here is a very slow heat source.
Yeah,
It is
because
localized.
Again, this was
Yeah.
scrubbed and sped up.
Yeah.
What you just, what
You
the,
would
the
not have
audience just
noticed
viewed.
it. Yeah, you wouldn't have noticed it if I hadn't have scrubbed through. That's a burst.
Yeah, and it could.
And it comes in waves. That actually comes down in waves. It's localized. This is when you received the 35 out there. This is when the batteries died, because that's what you're doing. You guys are talking about that right there. That's what we're seeing.
And this was recorded on an invisible
Yep.
spectrum of light.
Yes.
This was thermal radiation. The fact that we were able to connect these 2 points, the battery failure, the spike of radiation, we have a visual representation of what could have caused that. Does that is
Yeah.
mind-blowing.
Yeah,
to
and
me
I don't
because-
know what that is. And again, we've showed this to a lot of people, and they
yeah.
don't know what this is. No one knows what this is. All we have is the data, and the data says, again, there are multiple things happening at the exact same time that these sensors are catching this up. This is sensor data. You cannot deny the fact that those pieces of equipment are picking this up.
Yeah.
Something was there.
We've got 5 pieces of equipment that are detecting in one way or another
Something.
something.
Yeah, something. And that's all we can say was something at this point. I don't know. The data is what the data is.
That, to me, that something happened that was measurable is irrefutable when you have that many points of sensor data.
Yeah. Trying to, to stay within the scientific bounds and within the bounds of fact and data. The data's on the table, and the data shows that we're moving in a direction, and we're moving in that direction because we're following these data points. Where are they going to lead?
Right. That's the big question. Where are they going to lead? Because just like in Hedgesville, were we being led around by the nose there? And is that same pattern going to continue from here?
Exactly. So we're going to go to this area.
Yeah.
And it's a historical area, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So we're going to get to go in there, and you're pretty sure you've got this nailed down.
Based off of some notes
Yeah.
and a couple geographic features that are mentioned in books and said notes, I've got a pretty good idea that we're going to be within about 100 yards of where some pretty incredible experiments that were followed by experiences took place.
Okay. Well, let's get out there and see what we can find the next time then.
Let's do it.
Let's do this thing.